Hey everybody. I am currently working on a tattoo design, which I don't normally do. I'm a firm believer that if you want a good tattoo design, you should work with a tattoo artist, not somebody that doesn't do tattoos for a living. But this is a special exception. This is for my little brother. He's getting full sleeves done, and each tattoo that he's getting represents a family member, which is really cool. And he wanted me to draw the one that would represent me on him. So we collaborated. I'm doing kind of a mix of Sailor Jerry, Flash, which is how most of his art, most of his ink is. Looks kind of like that traditional Sailor Jerry style, mixed with Star Wars, which was a big deal for us when we were kids. Obviously, one of the first movies he ever saw was Return of the Jedi. My very first movie that I saw was Empire Strikes Back, in the theater. And I don't think it was exactly when it was released. So back then they used to just re-release movies a lot because there was no home video market. Like VHS and Betamax were sort of a thing, but it was really not attainable for most people. So I'm working on that today. I really got to clean my office. It's a pigsty in here. I have over here just a stack of comics piled up that used to be on a bookshelf, but my son's books have taken that bookshelf over, so I just now have piles on my floor that I have a bookshelf that I need to put together. It's downstairs. I've had it for a while, so I need to take care of that. I did watch about an hour and a half of Until the End of the World last night. It was awesome. The I don't really know. It's been years and years since I've seen, almost probably 30 years since I've seen it. But it's immediately different from the theatrical cut that I remember, because the main character Claire, her motivations in the theatrical cut are almost cruel and whimsical. They're much more defined and sympathetic in this version. So much so that it feels almost criminal that it was not released this way originally. So I didn't. Maybe it was there and I just didn't catch it. That could also be, but I don't remember. I remember thinking man, this lady's kind of a jerk. It turns out she wasn't. She had very valid reasons for doing the things she did. So the premise of the movie is that it's 1999 and there is an Indian nuclear satellite starting to disintegrate into the atmosphere slowly around the Earth, and it's going to crash at some point, and nobody knows where it is going to crash. So there's going to be a nuclear disaster somewhere in the world, and so everybody is just acting like it's the end of the world. And man, this really brought back a lot of feelings and memories for me from that time period. So they filmed this in 1990, 1989. It was released in 1991. And just all of it. As a kid, it just was assumed we were all going to die from nuclear war in the 1980s. It was very much a vibe. And it was very much just live like there's no tomorrow. YOLO, before that was a thing. So it was interesting to revisit some of those feelings. It's wild how much for a sci-fi movie you never want to do kind of predictive sci-fi, but they got a lot of stuff right. FaceTime, GPS, paying with only credit cards. There's no cash in this movie, which is wild. It predicted the euro before the euro existed. There's a unified. It's not called the euro in the movie, but there is a unified European monetary system in place in the movie, which is it got a lot of things right. It also predicted the fall of the Berlin Wall, but that actually happened when they were preparing to film the scene of the fall of the Berlin Wall. So the Berlin Wall came down while they were getting ready to film a fictional fall of the Berlin Wall. And it just brought back all these memories of like, I remember sitting in class and them announcing that the wall fell when I was like, I would have been 12 or 13, I can't remember. And just like all of us kind of looking around at each other like, do we celebrate, or does this mean like nukes are flying? Like, we just didn't know. And once the Soviet Union fell, like the rest of the 90s just kind of became this weird, palpable form of positivity and celebration for a while. And then like the internet was released too. So like that started, everything kind of changed in 1995. I have a book called, that I haven't read yet. It's called 1995, The Year the World Changed. Because it did. There was just so much happened in the 90s that steered us to where we're at today in some ways. But regardless, really enjoying the film, really enjoying the vibes. And they had Claire has like a little personal video camera, like but it's like a camcorder, but I'm pretty sure it's an Apple QuickShot, which was I believe the very first digital camera. I actually had to use one for a job in like 1996 for a website to shoot like at a Lexus car dealership. And I remember them like loaning it out to me and like, okay, be careful with this. I'm like, this costs like $3 to $5 grand. It was really expensive and only shot like black and white 16-bit images. And I was like, why aren't we shooting film and scanning the film? That's so much better. But whatever. DSLRs didn't exist then. Anyway, so I remember I had this crazy digital camera, and I was with my account executive. I don't even think we made it to the dealership. I think we went out drinking. She was a lot of fun. But yeah, Claire has this device that's kind of like it's like teal and neon yellow and green, but it looks like a powered Apple QuickShot camera. So it just took me back in a lot of ways and made me feel very nostalgic and for that time period. Now, at the time, everything felt very sweaty and paranoid. But, looking back through the lens of like, oh, we got through it, and it feels differently. So it's been an interesting movie to watch. Like I said, I only got like an hour and a half into it. I still have quite a bit to go. But maybe tomorrow I want to talk about, I've been talking now a little bit about how I have the Criterion channel, and I'm a bit of a cinephile, but I also, probably more than art house films, love trashy B movies. It's very much my dad's influence. I grew up watching Toxic Avenger, Class of 1999, Class of Nick High. Excuse me. Amazon Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death. Like, just name it, I've probably seen it. I've seen so many bad, horrible movies. I love it. I probably want to talk a little bit about that and like growing up in the early 1980s when cable came into being, and they would just throw whatever they had on. So I used to watch a lot of like really not appropriate movies when I was a young boy, which is fun. I have an appreciation for really bad movies. But yeah, it's kind of like I love it all. I love all sorts of movies. So sometimes I'm in the mood for a really trashy movie, and sometimes I like want to feel something on a deeper level. So maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. I don't know. Anyway, getting towards 10 minutes here, so let's wrap it up. Talk to you soon. Bye.